It's the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome back to another production here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, where it is our mission to try to bring you some news that you could use. Today is no exception to that rule. Follow me on Twitter X at the Mike Prince Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and don't forget to visit our website at obnradio.com for our 24-hour streaming content. With all that being established, let's jump right into today's episode. Well, a rough weekend for the Panthers in San Antonio, falling to Incarnate Word by the score of 56-28. Some questionable behavior on the part of Incarnate Word. We'll try to touch bases with Coach Bubba McDowell later on throughout the course of the week. But the Panthers were able to get a pick six in the last moments of the game while Incarnate Word was passing with a 56-21 lead. And, of course, toward the end of the competition, a little disgruntledness when the coaches did or did not meet at the end of the game, which has been a custom for spirit of competition. But nonetheless, the Panthers will get ready to have a short week. They got to stay focused on University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And let me apologize. Our sources and data kept telling us on Saturday that Pine Bluff had actually beat Alcorn by the score of 38-28, but after further review, it was actually reversed. Alcorn was victorious over Pine Bluff by that same score, 38-28. So we do apologize about that, but we were only regurgitating what was being forwarded to us. So nonetheless, we got all that correct. The Panthers will have their traveling shoes on yet again, trying to make sure that they establish the ground for Southwestern Athletic Conference play. There's one other non-conference game for homecoming on the 26th of October, where the Panthers will be hosting Texas A&M Commerce. But now, after Pine Bluff, the Panthers will have to face off with FAMU, Mississippi Valley, Alcorn, and Alabama State. Now, technically speaking, as we mentioned, the only other game that the Panthers can afford to lose would be Texas A&M Commerce on homecoming. Don't want to see that loss on homecoming, but if we're going to lose one, that would be the one of satisfactory, if there's such thing as satisfaction in losing. But as far as the West standings go, that is the one that is the least likely to hurt the Panthers' overall trajectory for trying to be on top of the West to play in the Southwestern Athletic Conference Football Championship. And speaking of defeats and losses, what about Vanderbilt defeating number one at the moment, the Alabama Roll Tide, 40-35. Now, of course, Alabama had shown pure dominance not only over Vanderbilt but over SEC play. But here's the thing that is really, really intriguing me. Yes, you're excited and can relate to Vanderbilt breaking a 100-plus losing streak to the Roll Tide. Anybody familiar with September 26, 1998, when the Panthers killed their 80-game losing streak? We do know the exhilaration that comes to that. But here's what's puzzling me. How are you allowed to take a goalpost? Yes, tearing it down, rushing the field. I understand that, witnessed that, seen that. But how are you able to get the football goalpost outside the stadium without being stopped by security and without anyone being arrested? Now, I do recall when the Panthers broke the street in 98, some of the students, at the time the president's home was still on campus, right across from the All Faith Chapel, and the students took the goalpost from Old Blackshear Stadium and brought it across campus to the president's home. Understand that. But there was no one at the field. There was no security. I can see that happening. But I'm still trying to figure out how you can go bypass and even know the route to take to get the goalpost out of the stadium. Baffling, mayhem all over the place. But when you hadn't won in so long, I guess they just let things slide by the wayside. Nonetheless, congratulations to Vanderbilt and their victory over Roll Tide. It'll be interesting to see where they end up landing after that. Meanwhile, back at the SWAC, you had a very, very disappointing show-up or appearance or an attempt of appearance by the Southern Jags. Now, we know that Prairie View lost to Southern, and by far, I don't play the if, woulda, coulda, shoulda game. The Panthers dominated that game against Southern, but ended up losing in overtime. I have not seen a Southern program struggling as this one is in the 2024 edition. I know that they're still trying to sort out some things. New head coach, Coach Graves, trying to make sure that they get the right places in place. But wow, what a struggle for the Southern Jags. They'll be in town on Saturday to take on the Texas Southern Tigers. Texas Southern was victorious over Virginia Lynch by the score of 28-10 for their homecoming of 2024. But it is really, really going to be interesting to see how this Texas Southern matchup holds out. Very, very intriguing match between those two. Right now, Texas Southern currently sitting in the number 3 spot of the Western Division. We'll see just who has that inside track when these two meet up on this weekend. Meanwhile, the Grambling State Tigers will be taking on the Alcorn State Braves this weekend in another critical Western Division matchup. And, of course, on Friday, October 11th, the Prairie View A&M University Panthers will be taking on the Golden Lions of the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Scheduled kickoff is for 6 p.m. Central Time. Of course, you can listen to that game right here live on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And in the event you were not able to catch the live contest from San Antonio this past Saturday, we do have that available on the YouTube channel at Open Mic Broadcast Network. Over on the East, Jackson State will have a bye this week. They'll next be in action against FAMU on October the 19th. FAMU has a bye this week as they prepare for their October 19th meeting against Jackson State. Bethune-Cookman will take on Alabama A&M this weekend in other Eastern matchups. Don't forget, we have a 24-hour message center where you can dial in, leave your questions, comments, or concerns at 720-721-1558. You can dial up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for any inquiries that you would have that we could answer for you or help try to find the answers for you. That number again, 720-721-1558. And one other East Division matchup this weekend will have Mississippi Valley taking on Alabama State. As we know, Alabama State fell short to FAMU by the score of 28-13. As we get ready to exit stage left, I want to remind you that you can join us each and every day here for the Open Mic Broadcast Network and the Mike Prince Show by going to the YouTube channel at Open Mic Broadcast Network. Visit our website at obnradio.com. And don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter X at The Mike Prince Show. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. As always, you guys be blessed. And until the next time, we'll see you on the other side.